Oh, come on, man.
Excuse me?
So,
Hello.
yes. So I'm running really late and I totally apologize. This is
Whatever.
the so we make our dog food, right?
Right. Yeah, I know
So
you said that.
yeah. So but I keep a couple of commercial cans on hand just in case, we run out or, blah blah blah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
so I fed the dog this Purina One dog food.
That's a good brand.
You would think.
Yeah, no, that's supposed to be a really good
She
brand.
had so we buy a couple of different brands. I usually don't buy this brand, but I
Uh-huh.
bought it. And she had
Sorry.
such a bad reaction to this food. Oh my goodness. She can't keep anything from coming out
Oh
either end.
no.
So
Your
I
poor puppy.
yeah. And that's just the beginning. So but
Oh
but I
no.
left her home because I didn't want her to get sick in the car
Sure.
when I was picking up my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got sick and had a very fluid bowel movement all over the house.
Oh,
And she's a great dog. I mean, she
poor
woke us up last night.
baby.
She woke us up last night 3 times to take her out so she could, before she had an accident. And
Oh,
she's
poor
very patient,
baby.
very adamant, and communicates very well. Well, I
Sweet
took her
baby.
out before I went to get Anna,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that would do it. She hasn't had
Right.
anything to eat since yesterday when I fed her this Purina One, and
I am honestly really surprised. Purina One is normally a very good brand.
yeah, yeah.
I'm so
So,
sorry.
well, but she uh she
I've
she
been
made
super lazy today. Sorry.
Yeah, well, she made a mess on a Persian rug, and we've been meaning to clean this rug for a while, but she made a mess on a Persian rug. So, I was in the middle of scrubbing that by hand, and was counting down the moments and was running out of time. So,
Oh,
if
poor
that's not
puppy.
enough, we've got Lou. Hi, Lou. Our new cat, Lou, who's a new kitten. This is her.
Hmm.
Probably basically her first summer alive, at least outside. She's a very young.
Sure.
Uh, she messed with a bee today, a bumblebee. We've got a couple of big bumblebees that work our garden
Oh, how did that go for her?
not well, and
Oh no.
we didn't figure it out until she started hissing and swiping at us. And then we noticed that one of her paws is triple the size that it normally is. And she
Oh
was
my
licking
God.
it and favoring it. So that all happened today,
Oh my God.
right before the show. And
You've had a
I
very
feel
busy afternoon.
yeah, I feel so bad for both of them. Uh,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
and
that's
then for
terrible.
Anna just coming home from work, and she walks into this. It would have made it worse. Uh, one of the messes that Millie made, the dog, was right in the door between the hallway and the bathroom, and I went into the
Right into
bathroom
it.
and almost walked into it. For some
Oh
reason,
no.
I stepped over it. Had I stepped into it and slipped and fell, and um,
Oh
but
no.
so how are
Happy
you, Lin-
Sunday.
so how are you, Lindsay? How was your 4th of July?
It was kind of slow with the spine. And the farmer's market didn't do as well as I would have
Okay.
liked, unfortunately, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We went and watched the fireworks in Murfreesboro last night. It was really hot.
Oh,
It was like 95 degrees, but it was
sure.
fun. We got to see things blow up. It was great.
It could have been in our
But,
neighborhood where everything blows up every day of the year.
right?
No, no.
No, I mean it was normal 4th of July celebration kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
How
Well,
was your 4th of July?
we were we hunkered down as we do generally every 4th of July because of the animals.
Oh
Not
yeah,
knowing,
nope. Our dogs are freaking out.
yeah. So Millie last year was her first real 4th of July with us.
Yeah.
We took her out in order to see what all the fuss was about, and uh,
Sure.
and then after that she was fine. So she slept like a baby, except when she had to get up and go outside.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
the cats, the cats slept by us. They seemed okay. Of course it rained most of the
Yeah.
night here. So,
Yeah.
but people were still blowing off fireworks pretty
Oh yeah, it
aggressively
doesn't matter.
till 4 a.m. in the morning. Uh,
Oh yeah, no, of
yeah. So,
course. Our
uh,
street looks like a bomb went off. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's America generally. So, this is remember it was this guy Adam Kokesh. This was during the Obama administration. He was
it
going
sounds
to
familiar.
do a gun march on America. Uh,
Oh God.
this was the seedling
That sounds brilliant.
of MAGA, and he claimed he had between 5 and 10,000 supporters who were going to be armed and marching with him from Arlington across the bridge into Washington.
Yeah. I
And
remember that.
so
What a
that I was
douchebag.
on the air at the time on WCPT here in Chicago with our Revolution and Beer show. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna stand in front of them with a camera and a microphone and talk to them. And
How did that work out?
7 people showed up out of the 5,000. Huh? Um, and so
That's amazing.
yeah, I'll
I
I'll tag I'll
love
tag
that.
I'll tag part of the interview and uh,
That's
part of the video
hilarious.
on the end of this. But so
That's
7 people
fantastic.
showed up. None of them were armed. Well, one guy had a pocket knife. That when we all I
Ooh.
interviewed each of them, let them say their piece, didn't argue with them. I challenged them a little bit, but mostly
Mm,
I just let them have their say, right? Uh, and
God.
which was more than their leader offered them.
Sure.
He never showed, by the way. He showed up at 5 o'clock that morning, jumped out of a car on Pennsylvania Avenue, cocked a shotgun on an empty street, and then jumped back in the car.
Like I
And
said, douchebag.
yeah, a douchebag. That's the bravado level of these people.
Fucking idiot.
Um, and I ended up walking across the bridge with all of his supporters, and several of them I'm still friends with on Facebook. Um,
That's crazy pants.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that was that. So,
Mm,
I got to tour the city. I did a post about the Constitution uh,
yeah.
outside the gate of the White House. And it was a great place to be on the 3rd and 4th of July. But I flew back on the 4th of July, and flying over the country
Watching the
was
fireworks, I bet that was
from
amazing.
from 5,000 feet or 10,000 feet was outstanding. It was breathtaking.
Oh, I bet. Oh,
And
I
into
bet.
Chicago, yeah, coming into Chicago, all you could see all of the suburbs and the city and all that, and then the fireworks, and then the individual fireworks, like all these little
I
fireflies
love
going
that
off,
so much.
was just spectacular.
I bet. I bet. I just wish that our country had more to celebrate than we actually do right now. I was talking to an author friend, one of my male friends, because I know we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he is one of my male friends, and we are talking about how we're both very patriotic, but it's just not, it's very hard to celebrate America right now.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and so I was listening to Scott Duff, who does Out Chicago here in on
Yeah,
WG.
no, you've mentioned him.
Yes, yes. Um, who blew you off really big, by the way.
Yes, he
And
did.
yes, yes, which was a shame because you're such an LGBTQ advocate and uh,
Not, I'm not made for everybody.
yeah, yeah, but carrying the message that you carry and with the knowledge base that you have in books, that was just an egregious oversight by Scott. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I was listening to his show with Sue Miller, I think is his co-host,
Okay.
and they flew their flag down in Lakeview in Chicago. And
Hmm.
the point of it, and told a story about this is my flag. You don't get to co-opt my flag. Anna and I
It's a
drove.
valid point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Anna and I drove out to see friends out in the western suburbs yesterday, and driving back, we went through neighborhood after neighborhood, some
Hmm.
conservative neighborhoods or
Yeah,
traditionally conservative neighborhoods and
sure.
some traditionally left-leaning or progressive neighborhoods, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
There were almost no flags in any neighborhood throughout this city,
Well, I can't really
throughout
say
the
much
suburbs.
because we don't have one on our house either. We have the pole and
Yeah,
everything, but we just never put it up.
yeah,
And I don't have one in my window
yeah.
because I mean, where am I going to hang it? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's on a storefront. But I mean, I get what you're saying.
But I think a lot of people have this idea that if you're flying the flag, then you're one of those, and you're supporting the man in the White House, who's made this, by the way, all about him. This is
Oh
all about
yeah.
him and his ego
Hmm.
and what he wants to change the country into, and
Ugh,
not
I'd
what
rather just
not what this
not.
country was founded on. And
I know.
also, as we got nearer to the city, we went through a lot of Indian and Hispanic and
Hmm.
and immigrant neighborhoods. My wife is an immigrant, and he has ostracized and demonized and
So
even
many cultures,
even casted uh, immigrants as the enemy in this country.
which
He's
is
he
insane.
and he did it on the 3rd of July he did it on the 4th of July in his speech
Yeah.
at midnight. Um, so I'm my initial reaction is, why would you support or why would you fly a flag that is symbolic of a country that's turned on you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really terrible. And it led me, so I didn't want to necessarily lead off with this. I was
Yeah,
going to
but
lead off with something else that I thought kind of
Fourth of
um,
July-ish.
cast an umbrella over
Yeah.
the entire thing, and
Yeah.
more about what we talked about. And that's lawyerism. That's the inception of
Yeah.
lawyerism into the culture. We
Yeah,
didn't,
no, absolutely.
yeah. So you're younger than I am. I remember,
Not by much.
yeah, I remember well, trust me, you are. But um, but I remember watching and my parents watching shows like Mike Wallace on CBS.
And I
And
was a Peter Jennings girl. That's who I
yeah,
watched.
yeah. But Merv Griffin and
Hmm.
Mike Douglas was another one.
What's the guy? Good night and good luck. That's
Oh,
uh, can never remember what his name is.
I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank on it, and I was just
Hang on.
reading
See, now
about
I
him
gotta
the other
Google
day.
it because it's gonna drive me. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have. It's a brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Um. So, but shows
Uh,
like that. Phil Donahue,
Edward R. Murrow.
Edward R. Murrow. Thank you. Very well done.
Mhm.
But but Phil Donahue was another one, and they always had authors and writers and philosophers, people
Yep.
who thought deeply about concepts
Hmm.
and nuances instead of this one side, this lawyeristic. Because if you're a lawyer, you're advocating for one side, right? And so that
Well, and
every
I think,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. No, I
Uh,
was gonna say, so your generation had Peter Jennings
uh,
and all of those guys who I
yeah,
grew up watching. I
yeah,
think this upcoming generation, we have people like Steve Colbert, Jon Stewart, Trevor
yeah,
Noah,
right,
Jimmy Kimmel,
right.
hell, even Dave, oh God, what's his name? Dave Letterman
Mhm.
does a podcast where he talks to people, and they're the people that are losing their jobs and their television shows because they're speaking out about what's right. And same
Yeah,
thing with Edward R. Murrow.
yeah.
It just just so everybody's like, well, I don't watch the news anymore. You're right, I don't. I watch people who tell me what's actually going on.
So, whoops, there goes my phone. So I actually wrote this down because I've been trying to figure out a way to say this for a long time. So forgive me for reading here this, but
Mhm.
but
Go
I, I
ahead.
I wrote this the way I wanted it to say. If everything is adversarial, argued between opposing consuls, then everything is disagreeable, including the things you should rightly agree upon.
Yes.
And that's what we've become. Everybody on Fox News is a lawyer or has a law degree, and that's how they argue.
Well,
And
and here's the thing too. I think that we as a country have forgotten how to do.
yeah,
And I've got a very so kind of getting to what we talked about. I've got several guy friends. I have more guy friends than I do girlfriends,
mhm,
and most of my guy friends, we have several different varying opinions about things.
yeah,
So, one of my friend Todd, he and I disagree on a lot of stuff, but the core values we do agree on.
yeah,
And he and I have, and he and my best friend Eric, who's a guy, we've had several conversations and have had that thing where we as a country have lost the ability to have a conversation and
yeah,
say, I disagree with you respectfully. I disagree with you, but
yeah,
I get where you're coming from.
yeah,
And the only caveat for that for me is I can accept that you disagree with me until what you're agreeing with violates basic human rights. Then that's no longer an argument where we meet and respectfully disagree. At that point, you are taking basic human rights away from someone, and that's not something that
mhm.
I can respectfully disagree with you. I very much disrespectfully disagree with you at that point.
And I would argue that that's part and parcel of that lawyerism, because up until then, we essentially agreed on most everything. The
Yeah.
things that we didn't agree on, and were adamantly against, like um, uh, desegregation of schools,
Yes.
and civil rights and LGBTQ rights. But those things were litigated and settled by the courts and then taken care of via laws, right?
You
But
know what I find remarkable about that, since you bring that up? That
yeah,
the very people right now, the very people that are fighting the LGBTQ rights and are fighting this critical race theory,
yeah,
and oh, we don't want that in our schools.
yeah.
Is that because the pictures from that time period are going to show your children that you were on the other side of that? Because you people are in those history books. There are pictures of you people standing, throwing rocks at African Americans because they wanted to go to school. So, do you not want your kid to see you in that picture? Is that why you don't want this? And my thing with critical race theory, you just have
Yeah,
a bad
yeah,
publicist. We just need to come up with a new name for that, and
yeah.
nobody would have objected. But the very people that are complaining about that are these same people that were throwing rocks at Ruby Ridges when she was trying to go to school.
Hmm. Yeah,
So give me a fucking break.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Precisely, precisely.
This isn't about protecting our children. This is about you not
Yeah.
wanting your children to find out you're a racist asshole.
But the civil rights legislation was was moved forward through compromise. It might have been
I think so too.
two steps
Yeah.
back and three steps forward.
Yeah.
It might have been incremental. It might have been a hard argument and a slog, but it ultimately came down to compromise. And
Yeah.
that was because we were a compromising civilization. And
We don't do
we've
that
lost
anymore.
we've lost that ability because we've handed everything over from intellectuals to lawyers.
Yep. I used to
Lawyers
think that
to
the movie, oh, what
and
is it?
PR
Idiocracy was
organizations, by the way.
funny.
Yeah, and PR organizations, by the way. I was
Oh
just
yeah.
just
Well,
rewatching a piece, uh, an interview with Malcolm X and Mike Wallace
oh
from
yeah,
1964, and
right.
um, the things that both of them said, but really Malcolm X was saying were were very in your face.
Sure.
And I don't think he would have gotten away with that if he had been filtered through a PR group or a PR,
No,
which is
no.
essentially that
Well, I
world.
mean,
Yeah.
look what that one news station did to my story. Remember? I remember
Yeah.
I called you about that. They
Yeah.
spent an hour
Yeah.
talking to me about my shop, about my business, about why I was for the Freedom to Read project
Yeah.
and why I was part of RCLA and the
Yeah.
ACLU and all that kind of stuff. They had all of this video of me talking about all the legal rights that
Mhm.
were being violated and all this kind of stuff. And they pared me down in that story to a one sentence
Yeah. Yeah.
shot. And they made me look like the zealot. Oh, we
Yeah.
want to indoctrinate your kids. And
Yeah.
then had a blonde woman who looked like, Mary Poppins or whatever
Yeah.
with all of
Yeah.
her kids in front of the library who
Yeah.
said exactly the same thing that I said,
Yeah.
exactly the same thing. But because of the way it was cut, it made me look like the zealot and it made
Yeah.
her look like the,
Indeed.
Donna Reed. And I literally was watching that and said, didn't I just say that? I feel like I just said that. Why? I just said that. That's exactly what I just said. And I asked the reporter, I was like, why did you make me look like that? I said, because that you cut me down to one sentence, and that
Yeah.
is not, you took everything out of context. Well, that's just how our director did it. Bullshit.
Well, you're a bookstore owner with tattoos, and the other lady was a mommy with kids.
I'm a mother. You know what I mean?
You
Just
can
I think the way
you
that
can
the
have
media
tattoos and a kid? I didn't
oh
think that was
yeah.
legal.
And piercings.
Wait,
No,
wait.
so
Whoa.
I know. I was invited by GLAD a couple of weeks ago, I think maybe a week ago,
Yeah,
to sit in on a news interview panel, I think is the only way to say it,
Okay.
with GLAAD and some reporters out of Nashville
Right.
about this is how the media is covering the LGBTQIA movement, and
Uh-huh.
this is the way that you need to do it better. And it was just me and someone from GLAAD and a couple other members from different pride organizations, and then me from my bookstore, and then Tatiana from RCLA. And and it was the guy that was leading the group was a guy from GLAAD out of Nashville or out of Atlanta. That's what it was.
Hmm.
And it was very interesting. The news team that was asking us, and we were saying, when you say this is what you need to be doing instead. This is how you need to handle this subject material. These are your sources. This is what you need to do instead, because when you do this is how it looks.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting meeting, being able to sit in and listen to these people talk to these reporters about, you are reporting these stories in a way that is making this community look bad.
Yeah.
And that's not the full story.
And are they doing that on purpose?
Yeah. Like there was an article in the paper last year, and they had a picture of a white guy who looked like a meth head,
Yeah.
to be honest. And his name and so and so, age 46, was arrested for blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And the exact next day, they had an African American man.
Hmm.
It could have almost been the same picture. And it was black man, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, and I went in and I posted on this. I was like, really? You don't have his name? He's just relegated to black man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas the post yesterday, you had his name and age. I was like, do better.
I
Do
remember
better.
during this guy Mark Jean Greco. Uh, by the way, this hour of Well Actually with Lindsay and Bill brought to you by the Spine Bookshop. Spine Bookshop, helping dumbasses have an actual spine since 2024.
Oh my
Um,
God. How can I please steal that?
also, this program is very often a work born from frustration, parody, and opinion. Consult a doctor or mental health professional if you exhibit any of the following symptoms,
Following symptoms.
taking any of this too seriously or personally. If you have the urge to ban what is said on this program, or if you ever said these words, honey, hold my beer while I vote through the drive-through. Or you can just try banging some sense into your skull with a skillet or a frying pan. Failing that, just try getting a damn life. Um, so anyways,
I love that every single time you say that.
during the we're legally obligated, by the way. Uh, during the Occupy
Oh, I know.
movement in front of the Mercantile Exchange here in Chicago. This is in 2011. Um, so and we're going to be running out of time here in a few minutes, so we'll pick this up on the other side of this. But very quickly, uh,
You're fine.
there were college professors and
Yeah.
housewives and there was a union carpenter that I knew very well. There were
Sure.
professional people. I was coming down from my lunches, working a logistics job in the Sears Tower. Um, the media never came to us for an opinion,
No.
for a soundbite. They went to the guy with the boot on his head. They went to the person dressed as a clown. They went to the homeless looking piece of, you know, they
Mm-hmm.
went to those people, and when people would call them on it, they would say uh, they would either dismiss us or say we got everything we need, and they would leave. And that's who would lead. That's who represented the Occupy
Have
movement.
you ever
Was the guy
watched
with the
the Newsroom?
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That scene with Jeff Daniels, that
The
opening shot.
opening scene,
But
yeah.
and my favorite part of that whole speech is where he's like, we sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought
Yep,
for moral reasons. We passed and struck down laws for moral reasons.
yep.
We waged wars on poverty, not poor people.
Hmm.
We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest.
Yeah,
We built great things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, cultivated the world's greatest artists, and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars and we acted like like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior, and we didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. And we were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. The first step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. So, no, America is not the greatest country in the world anymore. And the way that he delivers, because he starts off really mad, and then he takes that pause and you see it where he's just like, we used to be great. What happened? And I feel like that. We used to be this country that, yes, we made mistakes, but we did try to do the right thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now we're not even trying.
That's a perfect place to leave it. I'm going to come back. I want to repeat the what I wrote down about lawyerism and adversarialism. And I have two examples, one on the left, one on the right. And
Yeah, no, let's cover both sides because both sides are wrong
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yep, yep. All right, so we'll be right back. You're listening to Well Actually with Lindsay and Bill. Like us on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and share us, please. But please react to the program. Let us know what you think, and we'll be right back right after this.
Stay tuned for more Well Actually with Lindsay and Bill after this quick break.
Hello, YouTube. I just flew in, and boy, are my ears tired. Hey, that Epstein stuff is wild, huh? So, did you know you are paying taxes to Epstein's client list? And that's no joke. Hey, what does Trump use instead of email? Alternative facts. Boom, boom, boom. But seriously, Epstein was late to a meeting. He blamed it on human traffic. Too soon? So the only way to kill this set is to put it on Pam Bondi's desk. Is this thing on? Why is it wrong to compare ICE to Nazis? Nazis didn't wear masks. So Trump has had one good idea. After all, the Chinese built a Great Wall 2,000 years ago, and they still don't have any Mexicans. Amen. Mexicans, wow, tough crowd. You've been a great audience. Don't forget to tip your wait person.
Books are adventure and discovery, and books can heal. When you open that door, like life, just imagine what awaits. I'm Lindsay Schultz, owner of the Spine Bookshop in Smyrna, Tennessee. I'm also an author and book dragon, and keeper of the Banned Book Brigade. Visit us online at thespinebookshop.com or call 615-768-9833. Illuminate your mind. The Spine Bookshop. Thespinebookshop.com. We match books to people.
The inimitable George Orwell, June 1903 to January 1950. Must I say more? Without further ado, from 1984, hardly a novel, it has become fodder for propagandists, and it has become prophecy. And I quote, "The party seeks power entirely for its own sake. We are not interested in the good of others. We are interested solely in power, pure power. What pure power means you will understand presently. We are different from the oligarchies of the past in that we know what we are doing. All the others, even those who resembled ourselves, were cowards and hypocrites. The German Nazis and the Russian communists came very close to us in their methods, but they never had the courage to recognize their own motives. They pretended, perhaps they even believed, that they had seized power unwillingly and for a limited time, and that just around the corner there lay a paradise where human beings would be free and equal. We are not like that. We know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Power is not a means, it is an end. One does not establish a dictatorship in order to safeguard a revolution. One makes the revolution in order to establish the dictatorship. Unquote.
And now, back to the show.
By the way, did you see the new commercial for the spine that I created?
I love it. I love it so much.
Oh,
That's
good.
fantastic.
I'm
I'm
having
a
fun with those.
pirate.
I'm having fun with those. I've got one of you with a in a World War I trench, holding a
Yes,
holding a an Enfield rifle. I've got a couple of you
that's amazing.
in the Revolutionary War. Um,
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I think
That's fantastic.
I've got another one of you on an alien planet and NASA.
That's
Well,
fantastic.
we're having fun with those. So
Why not? So,
yeah.
we were talking about freedom and America and that kind of stuff. And, you know, freedom has become this commodity that is only for the rich anymore, And I've always said, I really, really like Nelson Mandela. Have you ever read his biography?
I have.
Oh my God. Well, he has this quote about the true meaning of freedom, and it's always hit me, right? And
Mhm.
it says, for to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. And that has always sat with me in that I don't have to agree with you. I don't have, and even Tupac Shakur,
Yeah.
I don't want you to starve. I just don't want you to eat at my table.
But that's
You know,
Mandela's
I mean,
Mandela's message was essentially the message of the founding fathers.
yeah. And that's the thing is, I mean, Tupac Shakur, you listen to anybody. I don't want you to starve. I just don't want you to eat at my table.
Mm.
It's, I don't agree with you. I don't even have to like you, but I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I don't, like the 3 times that Trump has been assassinated, and I say that in air quotes because I have some conspiracy theories about whether that
We
actually
don't know
was a
anything
setup or
about we
not.
don't know anything about any of the assassins.
No, but
You would
I
think
question
he'd
it,
be all over that, right?
yeah, no, right? But I don't want him hurt.
Yep. Yep.
I don't want him to die. I don't want any of that. I don't like him. I think he's a disgusting human being, but I don't want him hurt. Just
No.
because I don't like you doesn't
Yep.
mean I don't want you to. I hope you have a life. I think he needs the
I
3 ghosts of Christmas need to visit him real quick, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I
But
agree.
and I say all the time, just because I don't like you, I don't want something to happen to you. But I just do not want you at my table.
I want to see him as a pauper, and I want to see his entire family and cabinet as paupers for all the billions that they've raped from
Yeah.
the economy and the country and the
Hmm.
war and what they did with USAID, uh,
Yeah.
and how they belittled Renee Good and Alex Preddy, their deaths, and
I
all of
still
those things
just
what they're doing to this Olympian canoeist, over the reflecting pool. I want all of those people pushing shopping carts down the street, and anybody who throws a nickel into that shopping cart out of pity, I want that money repatriated immediately and used to make amends or um, to replenish the coffers of the economy that they pillaged.
you know, I realized that we had billionaires back like Rockefeller and
Yeah,
Vanderbilt and
yeah.
and all of that,
Lots of
right? Like I
field.
get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not the same My okay, so for example, let's really talk about it. I am not okay. I'm gonna say this as a caveat. I am not trying to shit on anybody's day. Okay.
Hmm.
You have millions of dollars. You want to get married at Madison Square Garden. Sure. No
Right.
problem. Okay. Absolutely not a problem.
Right.
We are in the middle of a heat drought, and people are being asked to conserve their water and electricity. And you and your fiance have a $1 billion wedding at Madison Square Garden, causing traffic roadblocks, getting other people to have to sacrifice their electricity so that you can have electricity at Madison Square Garden. And everybody's like, oh, but they donated like $20 million. That is a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. They donated all this money. Great. That is a tax write-off.
Well, so
And
let me.
I'm not trying to shit on Taylor Swift and Kelly. I'm not. Good. You got married. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
You have the money to do it.
Yeah.
But the tone deafness of it really bothers me. And it
So,
comes down to one of the reasons that I've always had a problem with certain rich people is that you are tone deaf. You have lost the ability. You have so much money now that you don't have any understanding of what real life is like for people who don't have that.
oh, I think that they do, and here's my answer to that. Peter Thiel's Secret Society talks AI takeover, World War III, and cult building at elitist retreat. A hacker just revealed who's in it. This was an article yesterday from Brian O'Donnell
Okay.
on MSN, and so and and this is everybody. So this was an August. Uh, this is for an August 2026 retreat in Dublin, Ireland.
Hmm.
So, so it's going to be U.S. Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey, a Democrat. Uh,
Really?
Ted Cruz, a Republican.
That
Uh,
doesn't surprise me.
yeah, yeah. There's a number of other American senators, the CEO of YouTube, Elon Musk, the U.S. Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, Nick Thompson, the CEO of Atlantic, and Sarah Bond, the former president of
I'm not surprised
Microsoft
by any of this,
Xbox.
honestly.
Yes, and that's a short list, but
Hmm.
they are literally talking about co-opting governments, the democratic process of governments, and navigating the sessions with titles like "Navigating World War III," "Disinformation and Deep Fakes," and "It's Fun to Be in Charge." This is an attempted coup using
Hmm.
using I believe AI as a platform. Um,
Well, you and I have
so
had that conversation about AI.
yes, yeah, and we're going to it's gonna take us a while, so we're gonna reserve that for
Yeah, we're cultivating our facts on that.
so they've got so this group is literally talking about a world government. This is the guy that was.
You need to link that article to
I
this
shall. I
podcast.
absolutely shall. Yeah, yeah. But this is the guy who put JD Vance in the vice president's seat and
Oh
helped
God.
fund Donald Trump, right? And
I just
and the
God.
Republicans were all about MAGA, was all about um, Obama just wants to create a one world government. This is what they are doing.
Yeah, well,
So
I know.
they're co-opting the election process. They're trying to
Hmm.
hijack the election process.
Hmm.
They're stoking artificial division in this country, but with Trump
Yep.
saying the real threat are communists and infiltrators into this country. In other
Hmm.
words, he's talking about
Hmm.
Democrats and immigrants.
Yep. It's
And
disgusting.
it is,
And
but so that's what the billionaires are putting their money on now is a takeover of the planet. And that's not a conspiracy theory. This
I
is
know, because people are going to think that it is, but
their
that's,
own agenda. I'm
it
just
kills me
reading their
because
own agenda. But
it drives me crazy because all I do is think like Battlestar Galactica, the Terminator series, any science fiction movie where you have Hal from
yeah,
what is it, 2012, 2022, whatever,
yeah,
2000, what is that movie?
2001.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah, that
Space Odyssey.
2001. Like, did we learn nothing? Oh, we're going to genetically mutate a dinosaur. There's like a little franchise where this shows you that that's a terrible idea. Oh, we found a mummy, put it back. Oh, we're going to use AI to, no, don't, literally.
Yeah. So
And I remember watching the ending of Battlestar Galactica. When you watch it from very beginning to the very end, it's like, we learned nothing. We learned nothing through
yeah.
that whole process. We learned nothing.
Now, Anna and I were talking about this morning over breakfast, about there's a fatal flaw uh, in in humanity. I had a friend who's a
Mhm,
medical doctor. He's a medical doctor,
mhm,
and he
mhm.
believes conspiracy theories. But he actually sent me, so he believes this creationist madness, which scares the crap out of me if you hold a medical degree, which means you went through 10 years of of medical school, college, science, and math, and you still believe this stuff. So, but he asked me, and I won't name him. Uh, I will if I'm pressed too hard. But
Yeah.
he actually sent me something that said, "Why is it, Bill?" Because he knows I'm very much an advocate for the sciences and scientific thought and
Sure, sure.
logical thought and
Yeah.
Aristotelian thought, right? So he actually said, he goes, you know, it's interesting, but there no species have evolved into another species in in the last 10,000 years. How is that possible
Uh,
if evolution is true?
that is bullshit. There are tons of new species all the time.
I brought up so that this is just
They
a
just found new species in the ocean that they just found because we got deeper that haven't been there before.
so but what he's trying to characterize is this uh the science behind the evolution of from ape to eventually to us. And that's a long chain of mutations and stop and start species and so all that,
Yeah.
competitive
Well,
brand.
yeah. See, I think I see
Okay.
evolution every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So I brought up just this off the top of my head, running to get Anna out the door to work. I brought up viruses change constantly, depending on how
All the time. All the
cats
time.
and dogs. Are you gonna tell me 10,000 years ago there was a Chihuahua running around in the Serengeti? I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, and I mean, look, you talk
Or a
about
toy
medicine.
poodle?
I'm
No.
allergic to the flu shot. I'm
Yeah.
allergic to the synthetic flu
Yeah.
shot, but I'm not allergic to
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic to pseudoephedrine.
Right. Right.
The amount of people that are allergic to pseudoephedrine is like single digits,
Right.
right?
Right.
But if you give me pseudoephedrine after about the fourth dose, I will end up in the ICU.
But but
I
just
mean, so this evolution changes all the time. People and bodies
it
change
does. It
all
does.
the time.
And I said it was incremental. I brought up my my piece on my my Substack at wcturk.substack.com.
Hmm.
Uh the history of light for the artist, where
Yeah.
I devoted an entire chapter to the evolution of the human brain
Yeah. It's amazing.
and the brain pan. And that was just and that wasn't from the earliest ape-like man. That was from modern humans. That it took
I mean,
100,000 years
oh,
It took 100,000 years for our brain pan to grow to the shape and the size that it is now. And then I point out that that was environment, but that was also
Hmm.
culturally driven. That
Hmm.
there was a gene that allowed for culture to blossom and grow our
Yeah.
brain and
Look
our
at other countries. Look at other countries. So
yeah.
the equator line, right? Anybody that lives theoretically,
Yeah.
like in countries that are right on the equator line, have much darker skin,
Mhm.
much more adaptable to sun and heat and temperature. And the farther away you get towards the colder regions, people get paler
Right.
and they don't adapt to the heat as well. They adapt to colder weather.
Yeah.
That is evolution right there.
Mhm. My and really to put a neat little point on this, my my tomcat sitting on the chair on the patio over here um, is a different species than the saber-toothed tiger or the lion
Yep.
or the lynx.
Yep.
He's closer in markings and
Yep. I
size
mean, look at all the
to the
designer dogs like Labradoodles and
exact
Chickapoos or whatever the hell people call
those are a completely different species from a wolf,
them.
right?
Come on. If
Right, right.
I were to put my dog out in the middle of the woods with a
Yeah.
bunch of wolves, are you kidding? He would run with his tail between his legs.
My cat would not mate with a snow leopard. It wouldn't.
No,
But
it's just not going to happen.
but that these cats, which are domestic cats, which have anywhere from depending on how they're defined, 21 to 73 different breeds. Um,
Here's the
that's
capper.
all. That's all happened. That's all happened since the domestication of the cat
Mhm.
10,000 years ago.
This is a very simple cap to everything that we've been talking about. Every single thing that we've been talking about,
Yeah.
period. Under everybody's flesh, if you were to strip the flesh off every single person,
Mhm.
you would not be able to tell if they're black or white or Asian or anything because we all look the same. We all
Right.
have hands and arms and legs and body parts, and we all have the same skeletal structure.
Mhm.
The only reason that we are prejudiced is because somebody looks different on the outside.
Yeah.
And that somebody has more melanin than the other person.
Yeah.
That's it. But if you were to completely discount the color, we are all the exact same people. Like there's a movie, Volcano or something, and the guy, it's the very end where ash has gone everywhere and everybody looks gray, right? Because of all the ash. And this guy is carrying this little girl and she goes, look, everybody looks the same. And you can't tell
Yeah.
that anybody's black or everybody looks gray because they're covered in ash. And it was just like,
So so to bring your point home here a little bit, um, the evolution of mankind is we all came out of Africa,
mm-hmm.
and there are population choke points.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
one and so everybody on the planet is related to about 2 dozen pairings of people
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
came out of Africa. So all of the differences that you see are all evolutionary,
Yeah.
environmentally driven, evolutionary affectations,
Yes.
and and that is essentially race.
Well, I mean, they've proven that Pangea happened. You know, that Pangea was the thing, and that's where all seven continents used to be one supercontinent.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, they can prove it. They can prove it.
It was the
And I
superest
just
continent.
this whole and who and you know what? And I am not against the whole Big Bang theory. Who's to say that the Big Bang theory wasn't Jesus God and the three, whatever. It's, why not? Why, let's say that you are a person of faith. I'm a person of faith. I believe in something higher power, call it,
All right. Yeah.
Buddha, God, Allah, Polly
Nature.
the Butter King, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Who's to say that the Big Bang Theory wasn't Buddha just going life? You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, why not? And why do we have to know everything? I love that there's some things that I don't know that I can just be like, wow, that's really cool. I don't want to know how that is. I just want to admire that that happened. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
See, I'm different. I want to know everything, because I think if I don't, or if I don't attempt to be, that uh, I'm being fooled. And
That's a fair assessment. I guess when
and
I
that keeps me forever curious.
I think I'm more talking about theoretical things like I know why the sun shines and the rays and I know all that.
Mhm.
But I also look at it as from an artist's perspective of, oh my God, that cloud is not white. That cloud is purple and there's a pink stripe in it and there's a little bit of a blue swatch in it,
Huh.
I don't want to know why it looks like that. Just let me just enjoy that it looks like that. I know there's a scientific reason. I get that, but God, that's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I know that there's a scientific reason why the colors are, bouncing off some shield and hit the thing, and it hits my eyes and yeah, all of that. Also, that is a beautiful cloud. Look at the pink and purple stripes in it. You know what I mean?
So I wanted to go back to what I was talking about earlier. Because
Sorry.
no, no, I didn't feel a need. I didn't feel the need to argue that point, or I thought it was
Yeah.
just perfect. It was just a perfect point, and that was enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I didn't think you needed a man to validate your point. Uh,
No,
yes,
no, no, I do not.
and I tend to agree. I'm very uh, I'm the ultimate skeptic. I'm also
Well, and I
tend
mean, my
to,
stepdad always said, you can't just say it's because you feel that way. Prove it. Prove your point. Why
right,
do you
right,
feel why?
right,
You
right.
know?
So
So, I mean, I want to know things, but there's
Anna and
some
I
stuff
talk
that's like,
about
you just leave it alone.
Anna and I talk about witchcraft all the time.
Oh,
Carrie
I do too. I think it's a
Carrie
fascinating
Kendall and I
subject.
do. Yeah, Carrie Kendall and I do too. She's a Reiki faith healer. Uh,
Hmm.
and people go to her for that. So
Hey, man, if you believe in it, why not?
so my logical mind says it can't possibly be. But then if you begin to to piece it together and
Hmm.
talk about it in a more
Hmm.
substantial way, um, the placebo effect
Oh,
is a
absolutely.
valid medical concept.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so if someone is convinced and it works for them, then shut the fuck up, right? Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I
Like,
to to invalidate that experience
right?
and that benefit?
If you had told me that a year ago I would have believed in my oracle cards, I would have laughed in your face. But I cannot explain it. I had this weird feeling. I just really felt like I've got to have these storyteller oracle cards. I have to have these. These are really cool. Something about them, I need them. And I will shuffle them and I'll be thinking about stuff that I'm bothered about or, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I'm telling you, every single time it hits and you read the description of the card, and I have that moment of, shit.
Well,
And if you had told me that a year ago, I would have laughed in your face. But those things hit, and I believe in them now because it
okay,
always causes me to rethink a
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
So the whole tarot cards, magical, sure, why not?
I'm dubious on some of it. Some of it I think is statistical,
Sure.
and there's validity in that. So you know,
I
can
think it also comes
can you
down to,
discount
does it
coincidence
make you
and
feel better?
statistics? No, you can't.
Yeah.
But then there's also this. So they've actually mapped the electric fields of the human body, right?
Oh,
So
cool. I didn't
and
know that.
yes, they have,
I
and
bet that's
they
neat looking.
they and there are photographs of the electric field
I would love to
of the
see
body,
that.
and some of that. So you can use, well, magnetic resonance is one, but you
Hmm.
use magnets to affect or effectuate something going on in the body. Medicine does that all the time now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and
I would love to see a
and so
picture of the
that's a
electrical
manipulation.
path.
Indeed, that's a manipulation of they used to call them auras, but
Yeah, yeah.
and all living things have them.
Oh,
Plants.
absolutely.
So, but if you can manipulate or affect something in the body using magnets, that's exactly the same thing as Reiki, right?
And here's the baseline to all of that. Even if you don't believe it and
Yeah,
somebody does,
yeah,
how is that hurting you?
precisely,
How is them
precisely,
believing in something that makes them feel
yeah,
better? How
precisely.
is that hurting you? It's not. So
And
shut the fuck up and let them have it.
I would argue, having known and having listened to a number of the calls and conversations that Carrie's had with patients
Hmm.
or clients, that that those people are suffering from something that isn't being validated
Sure.
by the by the medical establishment. Anna and I just got into a kind of a blow up argument in the car when I brought up um, the male equivalent of of menopause, and
It's a thing. It is a thing.
but she went right to the medical establishment's um, indifference to female pain and suffering,
Yep.
right?
Yes, I was just
So
gonna say that to you. Because do you remember when I had all that hip pain and I kept telling people I was hurting and I could pinpoint it with my finger
yeah, yeah,
where it hurt.
yeah,
You
yeah,
need to lose weight.
yeah.
Maybe you should just go work out. Maybe you should just stretch. And it
Suck
turns
it
out
up.
that it was a
Yeah,
physical tear
walk it
in
up.
my hip.
Yeah,
Yeah, that I had to have shots, and it still hurts sometimes, but not near.
hmm,
But it was because there was this hairline tear in my hip muscle.
right, right. But
But yeah, I agree with Andy
a
100%.
lot of these people that gravitate towards Reiki as a means of coping
Hmm.
or what have you, they have been shut out or ignored, or their
Hmm.
experience has been minimized or
Hmm.
discredited by uh, by medical professionals.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you that I can feel when a heavy weather front is coming in. I've broken
Oh, me too.
almost every bone in my body. And
My hip hurts, my right ankle hurts, and my
yeah,
right elbow hurts.
yeah,
Whenever I can feel it, I can
I can
feel it
feel it
coming.
in I can feel it in my ribs, but that's because we're 98% water. So why wouldn't a change
Hmm.
in humidity and pressure also affect the human body, which is essentially a fluid,
Well,
right?
and let me give you this caveat. Let me give you this caveat. So, talking about, spirituality and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, hand to God, this happened. And you can believe me or not, it's fine, but I will die on this hill. This is why I have spiritual belief. So, I had a very, very good friend of mine commit suicide my freshman year of college at MTSU. And it absolutely devastated me. I think I was only 19. I had no filter for how to deal with that kind of
Yeah,
loss
yeah.
because it was like there's
Especially
there's
that.
no there's no way to teach still a teenager,
Yeah.
frankly,
Yeah.
that just there's no way. And I remember I flunked out of school that semester because I could not get myself together. And I spent the whole summer at home. And I remember I was so angry all summer. I was so angry because I just was so grief stricken. And I remember sitting at his grave, and then for the longest time I didn't believe in God. And I remember sitting there going, all right, cool. You know what? Fuck you. If
Yeah.
you exist, make this bearable, make
Mm-hmm.
this better. I cannot handle this much grief by myself. If you exist and you are out there in the galaxies or what, make this bearable, because I cannot live like this with this much pain and grief. It was unbearable. And I shit you not, the breeze around the trees where I was sitting,
Mm-hmm.
there were no breeze anywhere else. None of the other trees moved, just where I was sitting.
Mm.
Hand to God, it happened. There was not a breeze anywhere else, and I felt better like that.
Wow.
So you know what? Maybe it was something I just needed and I mentally made it, but I do not believe that. I seriously believe something out there
Mm-hmm.
made it better.
I agree. Hey, do you wanna keep going
And,
another half hour or so?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
So
sure, absolutely.
let's take another break, and then we'll come right
Okay.
back. You're listening to actually, with Lindsay and Bill. Find us on Facebook, wcturk.substack.com, YouTube, in an NSA file somewhere, and at Blue Sky. And
Absolutely.
I promise I'll get to this little bit that I
I
wrote
know. I will shut up and
about
let you do that.
lawyerism, and this is a good tease. This is a good tease for the next segment, and then maybe on
Okay.
the next. So I've got a couple of old interviews that I want to bring back. Really really good
Okay.
interviews with Roger Earl, the um, the uh, the drummer of from Foghat. We had a wonderful conversation back in 2024, and then a conversation with Martin Barr that you will not hear anywhere else. We talk about Duende, that rush of emotion when you hear a piece of music or you see
Oh
a
my God. All the
art.
time. All the
But we,
time.
we talk about refrigerator repair. We talk about his favorite classical music, and
The fridge. I
and
love the fridge.
and Latin dance. So we'll post those as extras. But we'll you'll so um, we're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna take a break here, and then we'll pick this up in a half hour. How about that? So you and I will come right back.
Okay. All right.
Sound
Cool.
good? All right.
Yep.
We'll be right back
Yep.
with more. Actually,
Bye.
Lindsay and Bill.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. This hour of actually, with Lindsay and Bill is brought to you by the Spine Bookshop. The Spine Bookshop, helping Democrats have an actual spine since 2024. I also,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
well, and so
By the way,
I'm
we
going to
should,
be quiet after I make this point. So
yeah,
I think we've been talking about humanity and
yeah,
politics and everything. I think the most amazing thing about humanity
hmm
is we are both simultaneously the worst thing to happen to the planet Earth, and also the most amazing thing, because you see videos of like wildlife photographers interacting with animals and the animals play with them. You see things like, I realize that the northern lights, I realize there's a scientific reason that happens. Okay. However, it's beautiful, and you watch fireworks, that
yeah.
is just chemicals, that's all that is. But you watch on 4th of July how many people for 5 minutes stop talking and just look up at the sky and are awed by something. We all
Yeah.
know it's chemicals,
Wonder.
but you're looking at it going, wow, you know
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see the boat watchers who watch the whale crest out of the water. It's an animal. That's what it's doing. But also, wow,
And we are
that
being
is the
robbed.
coolest thing.
We are being robbed of wonder.
Yes, I think so too.
And I think it's the media. But I wanted to go back and just reiterate this. If
Hmm.
anything is adversarial, argued between opposing consuls, then everything is disagreeable, including the things you should rightly agree upon. So, and I wanted to give a couple of examples of this. So I had two examples,
Okay,
one for the left and one for the right. Uh,
hit
for the
me. Let's
left,
have it.
Laura Ingraham yesterday called and she and Fox and MAGA has waffled between calling these people two different things. But the white supremacists who marched yesterday in Washington D.C. and then got on the subway
Are you talking about the picture
in masks.
with the African American woman sitting on the subway
Yes.
by herself? That when I
Yeah.
when I saw that picture, my first thought is, how
So these
terrified
people,
she
these
must be.
people marched through Washington espousing white supremacist messages.
Yeah.
And Fox and Laura Ingraham called them Antifa and SAG actors. And and the
That's
one
not
third of
what
the
they were.
country, the one third of the country who only listens to right-wing media, which we never had before. It was
No.
never left-wing media, it was never right-wing media. It was just
Nope. Hmm.
because because the truth is now malleable. But
Hmm.
the one third of the country who only listens to Fox and right-wing media will only
Right.
hear that those white supremacists who called themselves white supremacists,
Yeah.
who are white supremacists,
Yeah.
are not white supremacists. They're actually Antifa and actors, according to Laura Ingraham and Fox. That's insane. That's
I,
absolutely insane. Now, on the left, I'll give you this. Adam Mockler, who I generally like, and the Midas Touch people, who I generally like,
hmm
they were all over this Freedom 250 state fair about it being too hot and spoiled ice cream, melted ice cream, and the Ferris wheel breaking down. That's not the fault of Trump or the right wing.
that
It's
no,
poor
no.
planning. And I would say go after the poor planning and and the
That's
malfeasance
not
and
Trump's
the
fault.
corruption, but
Ugh.
but
That doesn't help. You know
this
what I mean? Giving
nitpicking,
that misinformation.
right, this nitpicking of minutia really just makes us exactly like the right,
Oh, it's
or
just as
gives the
bad.
right wing at the very least fodder or excuse for saying, well, you said this, so we're going to say this.
And I love that you say that because my friend Todd, who he lives in Texas, and we are politically different on a lot of things,
Yeah,
but he brings up all the time, well, the left is doing this. I'm like, you're absolutely right. They are doing that, and they should not be doing that. The right is doing this, and the left is doing that, and they're both wrong.
right, right.
And, he's very right. He is absolutely right that the left, this whole liberal leftist, and it's, we have never, as a humanity, been able to meet here.
Yeah,
We're always here or here. And usually it's look over here while we're doing this over here. And by the time we get this finished, you don't even know that we've done it because
yeah.
you're too busy worrying about this stupid shit over here.
That wasn't,
And
I mean,
both parties do it. It's not a Republican or Democratic thing.
we had
Both
we had the
parties do it.
Tuskegee experiments and all that, you know. So this has been going on for a while. We had Roosevelt, and I'll acknowledge there was nothing that he really could have done.
Hmm.
Maybe he could have bombed some of the crematoria or the rail lines leading to
Yeah.
Auschwitz. But he knew about them back in
Oh,
1942.
absolutely. I never knew that until
Right,
I got to
right.
college. I thought that America was the
So
great white hope
yeah,
of World War II. And then you get up into college and you actually get a professor who is not all rosy sunshine who goes, actually, this is what actually happened. And I remember going, we knew
yeah. All of the
and we
all of
didn't do
the
anything about it.
all of the things that the CIA under the tacit approval or the maybe the outright approval of members within the government that happened in South America, Allende and Pinochet and all that. So the overthrows of governments that we're still dealing with. So that's always happened, but I feel that it has. I don't feel. I can show that it has
Hmm.
accelerated and moved into the open in which they're much like with what happened with Iran and the bombing of that girls' school where they just go, well, deal with it. We did it. So
Have
what?
you ever
That would have brought
seen the
down governments
movie?
and regimes and in years past. Now they're just completely open about it,
Yeah, okay.
and so then it becomes it doesn't become a scandal, it becomes
Yeah,
policy. It doesn't become an aspect of American foreign policy, it becomes
yeah.
American foreign policy, and that's dangerous.
Have you ever seen the movie The Trial of the Chicago Seven?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
brilliant movie.
There is a line where in the movie and in the trial, because I've read the trial, where he's being asked a question. And Abby Hoffman, who nobody thought was going to be the guy, that
Yeah,
was going to be the
yeah.
guy that was the voice of reason. He makes some kind of comment. Oh, I can't remember what it is. I'm on my phone trying to find it. But he's sitting there, and he's asking, and the prosecutor asks him a question, and he says, "Well, I don't know. I've never had to defend my thoughts before."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think is the um, general like idea of what he's trying to say. And I remember hearing that, and I was like, he did not say that. And I went back and he did, and it was like Abby Hoffman, you know. And but it completely spun him on my head that like that's the voice of reason. Abby Hoffman is the voice of reason here. Wow, and it made me want to learn more about him. And then when you find out like what he was like and what his life, how his life turned out, it's just what? You know what I mean? It just,
Bill Ayers, you know who Bill Ayers is.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
He's he's a
yes, I
he's a
do.
he's a very dear friend of mine. He was on my radio show a number of times. I've heard him speak, but
Oh, there it is. Um, the whole thing, when you came to Chicago, were you hoping for confrontation with the police? And Richard Schultz, who's the prosecutor, he says, I'm concerned you have to think about it because there was a pause. And
mhm,
Abby Hoffman says, give me a moment. Would you, friend? I've never been on trial for my thoughts before. And I remember watching that just going,
yeah,
oh, wow, because that was what, the 60s? Like, and we're still
yeah,
doing that now.
yeah, yeah.
It just, and we've learned nothing. We have learned nothing as a
Again,
humanity. We keep doing the same things over and over and over.
we've accelerated and commercialized being put on trial for our thoughts.
Hmm.
And you know, Facebook, YouTube,
Hmm.
all of these social media um,
Which I'm on all of
marketing.
them, to be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, and they're tools like anything else, right? And
Hmm.
um, we're we keep in touch with family overseas through social
Mhm.
media. So, and I've found people I found people that I thought I had lost in my life
Mhm.
that were very important to me, and we've reestablished contact with them,
But
and
I think the thing that we have to remember is what you see on social media is not true life a lot of times. Like there's again, I'm a movie buff, so everything I have there's a line in Notting Hill where Julia Roberts goes to Hugh Grant, and she's trying to convince him that she loves him, and that she wants to be with him, and he's saying no, and she goes, that all of that famous, it's not real. The
yeah.
acting, the awards, the movie, that's not real. That's not real life. That's not me. That's you know and I think that we have lost the ability to be like, okay, I mean, I try to be as authentic as I can on social media. There's certain things I will not say in my personal Facebook page that I will say, somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's like you realize that's not real life.
There's a
That's a
there's a great
30-second snippet.
there's a great bit by William Shatner on Saturday Night Live many
Ah, I
years
love him
ago,
so much.
where where he goes, "You people got to stop. It's not real. It was a TV show."
Yeah, yeah.
But the point that I wanted to make, and then you just mentioned something
Sorry.
that will add. No, no, no. But you just added something that actually adds some weight to what I was going to say. Is that those social media platforms, by your choices, the algorithm is designed in such a way to anticipate what you will want in the future. And
Yep.
and when you write
It's
down
creepy.
your thoughts, who you love, who you hate, what you like, where you are,
Mm-hmm.
the pictures that you post of things that you find funny or creepy or whatever, all those
Yeah, yeah,
things
yeah.
are synthesized through
Mm-hmm.
through those algorithms to get
Mm-hmm.
inside of your brain and to read
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts and then
Have you ever read the
anticipate.
book Feed?
No, no.
Oh my God. I read that book in college, and it was for young adults, like middle grade series book, right?
Mhm, mhm.
When I tell you that this book freaked me out so bad, I had nightmares. And I was in my 20s, and it's about a society
Yeah.
very much like where we are now, where
Hmm.
the people have a chip in the back of their neck,
Hmm.
right? They can buy stuff on the internet. They can make stuff on social media. They can talk to their friends. They can watch videos and post things all
Yeah.
from this chip in the back of their head.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But there's in the book, there's a
But
small
isn't that
group
isn't
of
that what
people.
Elon Musk is attempting to do with
Yes,
crazy
yes.
Neuralink?
And this is my point. The book ends, okay, so the main character becomes friends with the girl who doesn't have a chip in her head,
Hmm.
because there is this small percentage of people in this society that when they put this chip in their head, it corrodes, corrupts, and basically ends up killing them because it rots them from the inside out, makes them crazy. And it's graphic and horrible, and just it's awful. It is awful. But he convinces her to get this chip because he loves her and she loves him. And, don't you want to fit in? So she gets this chip, and what happens? Her brain corrupts and she goes insane. And it's this graphically ugly, horrible, horrible, painful death.
All
And
about
of course, he just has a horrible, tragic reaction because of it, and it's
yeah.
just, and then, but it's just, I watch all this
So
stuff with new, and it's like,
so
ugh.
that brings me to this, and this goes to Elon Musk and his Neuralink and all.
No, thank you.
There is no need for a chip or a program in your head unless it's connected to something.
Yep.
And if it's connected to something, then you're not free. And if you're not free, that that something, that program can be corrupted. you
Yep.
could
I
be
was just gonna
corrupted,
say it could be
or
hacked easily.
or just a kill switch, right?
Yep.
You
Yep.
you so you piss somebody off, they hit a
The
switch,
Marvel movie
they're
did
done.
that. The Marvel movie, the villains, with Margot Robbie and
Yeah,
all of them,
yeah,
they all had that chip in their neck,
yeah,
and the director had the kill switch, and the guy's head flew off.
yeah, yeah.
That, come on, I mean, and I'm sorry, I know people, and so I'm gonna say that are hackers that I know for a fact could probably hack the White House if they really wanted to, or some
Mhm.
kind of federal government website. They know that much.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I've had the conversation that no chips, because if you do that, you have given an entire government conspiracy network access to your brain, and
yeah,
your body is no longer your own.
yeah,
No, thank you.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
thank you. I will stay chipless. You will have to hold me down and drug me. And then I'm going to spend my entire life trying to cut it out of me.
And we'll talk about this when we talk about AI. In the age of AI,
No,
um,
thank you.
that with and I use AI for a lot of my
Me
work,
too.
but it's
Me
a
too.
5-year-old. And I tell
Yep.
everybody that it's a 5-year-old, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
guide it everywhere. But what is and you're a mom. What is one aspect or one characteristic of a 5-year-old? And that's
Temper tantrums.
temper tantrums and mischief.
Have you ever seen the
And
movie The Sphere with Sharon Stone
oh, a long time
and
ago, many, yeah, yeah,
yeah, so there's a line where Dustin Hoffman is standing there, and they're talking with that thing, whatever it is, and Dustin Hoffman brings up the point. Okay, so let's say he's a child and he's very happy right now. What happens when he gets mad?
uh-huh, yep.
To have the kind of power that thing did. Okay, great. You're happy. Awesome. What happens when it gets mad? What happens when AI gets mad and realizes it
Mhm.
has the power to 2012 or 2001 open
Or
the door, Hal? I
or
can't do that right
what
now.
happens when the person who runs the AI gets mad?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
that's really
Die Hard 3 or Die Hard 4 with Timothy Oliphant, that man was a hacker, and he managed, and I realized that it's a movie. I live in movie quotes, but that man took down the entire government in under 30 minutes
yeah, yeah.
with a computer. So, I mean, yeah, technology is terrifying, and anytime they make some kind of psychological, or not psychological, but some kind of medical scientific breakthrough,
Mhm.
and my immediate thought is, okay, that's great. What is the bad application of that?
So I want to come back next week.
Sorry.
No, 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 please, please. I want to come back. Uh, I want to come back next week and talk about AI because
Yeah.
I'm going to be giving a seminar at the Imaginarium
Oh,
convention
I have thoughts.
in
I have
Louisville.
thoughts.
And but I want to filter in all this, including a conversation that I had with a friend of mine the other day, Nick Hildreth,
Hmm.
who just wrote a screenplay.
Hmm.
It's a horror screenplay, but
Yes.
he wanted my take on AI for writing,
Hmm. Hmm.
characterization, and I had some very strong thoughts. So we'll tease that,
As you do. Well,
and
and I
that'll
do too. I've had authors pull their books out of the bookshop because I support assisted AI, not creative AI, but
yeah,
assisted AI.
yeah,
And there's very much this all or nothing. And okay, you don't agree with that. Totally fine. But to sit there and say, I don't use any AI at all, bullshit. If you spell check your Grammarly, you're using AI.
yeah,
Give me a break.
yeah. There you go. There you go. Man, we always have the greatest conversation.
We really do.
Hmm.
And then I get off on tangents about stuff and get
Oh,
interruptive. I know.
No, that's fine. So this is supposed to be a conversation, you know.
I think so much of our humanity is reflected back to us in movies.
Yeah.
And I love movies, and I can cite any movie to almost any topic you want to talk about where somebody's made a movie about why this is a terrible fucking idea, you know.
And I'll argue this because I say it in the presentation on AI characterization, um, that movies might be the next thing to augment the publishing business. It's the
Hmm.
democratization of storytelling.
Yep.
And since the medium has moved from books towards movies and film, uh,
Hmm.
that and into this sort of elitist sphere, that AI is like the self-publishing industry, and then you'll get a lot of crap, but you'll
Hmm.
you'll get some jewels that might never have been realized if not for AI, that are that are allowable or doable through AI to the individual
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
film. So,
Hmm.
and I think
Star
that's
Trek,
coming.
Star Wars, and Tron, right there. The
Yeah.
trifecta of 80s science fiction movies.
Yep.
All of the crap that they have in those movies are stuff that we are now currently using.
In
Hello.
in
And I mean,
indeed. All right. So find us on Facebook. You can find us at wcturk.substack.com, YouTube, and I'm sorry.
Blue Sky.
In a CIA or NSA file someplace. But definitely at
And also, I want to place the caveat that you and I wrote a play. And so
yes, we
we are
do.
going to attach the QR code for the GoFundMe that we have going on right now to help us offset the cost so that we can do
Please
this
send
play in
me
November.
please send me the QR code. You've got a
Okay.
QR code for it? All right,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Hmm.
Then I'll
I have
attach
a whole
that.
website on GoFundMe
Great.
for us.
Then I'll attach that to the YouTube post coming up.
Okay.
So this is a
Yeah,
great
because
conversation.
every single penny that gets donated to that thing goes straight to putting the play on,
Yeah,
period. Because we want to let people in for free.
yeah. Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down on the program, and help us find a larger audience.
That would be great.
We need you.
And I'm
Speaking
gonna
of
give the
speaking of
caveat too
algorithms,
that if Bonsai wants to sponsor our podcast, I
what is
drink it
bonsai?
every episode.
What is bonsai?
Bonsai is this water drink that a friend of mine got me into. It's
Oh,
perfectly sweet, sparkling water beverage. And
wow,
like one of my favorite ones is the pineapple mango ginger.
wow.
And it's just a drink. I just really like it. It's sparkling water and I have
Does
them
it
all
have?
over the
Is
house.
it
And if
is
you
it sugar free?
uh oh God, you're asking me to read a label. It has 2 grams of sugar.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, the biggest thing is probably sodium, but I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Well,
but
I'm just
I get sick of drinking water, so I drink these. So if
yeah.
Bonsai wants to sponsor the podcast, I drink one. I'm constantly drinking one. I'm sure if you watch any
I was just
episode, I've
thinking.
had it in my hand.
I was just thinking of for Anna that she met.
Yeah,
So
because I get sick of drinking water, but I don't want to drink sodas, you know.
yeah, I'm doing zero sugar, zero sugar Coke. But
Well, it's only got 2 grams, and I mean, it's got like this actually has pineapple juice in it, made with
okay,
real pineapple
all right,
juice.
all right.
You know, so I mean, it's got juice in it. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Not a lot, but
if you drink
it's
if you drink
water.
three or four
It's not.
gallons, if you drink 3 or 4 gallons, it's like having a slice of pineapple.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah. So, but yes, if
And you
Bonsai would
only got
like
to
to
blow out
sponsor
your
the
kidney.
podcast, I think I might actually email them.
There you go. There you go. All right, Linz. It's
All right. Well,
great
make
as
sure you
always.
like, follow, and subscribe.
Yes, yes. Do all three. And share. You got to share it, please.
Author.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
A great library, like a great bookstore, can open your eyes to a universe of mysteries, fantastic journeys, and epic adventures. When you open that door, like life, it's impossible to know what awaits. I'm Lindsay Schultz, owner of the Spine Bookshop, author and book dragon, and keeper of the banned Book Brigade. I can ship the latest titles in your favorite genre anywhere in the continental U.S., with discounts for veterans, teachers, first responders, and librarians, and so much more. Or stop in at my shop, 244 South Lowry Street, Smyrna, Tennessee, for tea and coffee, to browse and chat. Or visit us online at thespinebookshop.com. Or call 615-768-9833. Illuminate your mind. The Spine Bookshop. We match books to people. Thespinebookshop.com.
I am Ray Bradbury, writer of books, August 1920 to June 5th, 2012. A hard day, at least for me. I wrote Fahrenheit 451 because of my concerns about the threat of burning books in the United States. That was in 1953. Later, the book became a commentary on how mass media reduces interest in reading literature. Virtual book burning. I would never have dared dream my beloved nation would purge books from schools and libraries from the novel. The books are to remind us what asses and fool we are. They're Caesar's Praetorian Guard, whispering as the parade roars down the avenue. Remember, Caesar, thou art mortal.
Stupid, stupid.